Kara, you're going to come to your cousin Macy's wedding, aren't you? I saw her a few days ago with my sister, and she mentioned that she still hasn't gotten a reply to the invitation she sent out. Your aunt was worried that you're not going to make it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I completely forgot, but I'll be there.
All right. Then make sure you send her your response as soon as possible. There's still some time until the wedding, but it's always best to respond to wedding invitations as soon as you get them, so that the sender can get on with planning their wedding. That's even more so if you're going to attend. Are you going to come with Chase?
Yeah, I'll reply, Mom. I'm definitely going to be there, but I don't think Chase can make it. He says that he's got an important business trip that weekend and he can't miss it.
Oh, I didn't know that Chase's job included business trips.
Yeah, but only once in a while. It's not that often that it comes up, so it makes it even harder to say that he can't make it.
Oh, have you been pretty busy lately? I've been worried about you because you hardly ever reply to my messages. I know that you must have more important things to do, but I want to know that you're okay, you know?
No, I'm not that busy. I'm fine. I've just had a lot to do these past few weeks. It's only been a month since we moved in with Chase's parents, and there's a lot I've got to get used to. It's no big deal, but I just couldn't get round to answering your messages. I'm sorry.
Are things going well between you and his family? You can tell me anything, Kara.
No, it's nothing like that. They're all really sweet, and Chase's parents treat me like their own daughter.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Do you think you can handle living with his entire family long term? It's not just his parents you're living with, is it? Didn't you say that his grandpa's there too? I can understand if you feel that it's a little tough because you don't have any personal space. It's not your own home, so you can't choose how you go about your day or even how you decorate the place either.
Yeah, his grandpa's here too, but he spends most of his days in bed.
He's bedridden? Does that mean he needs care? Is that why Chase's parents asked if you could move in with his family? So that they could get you to take care of him?
No, that's not it. I just meant that he spends most of the time locked away in his own room. He doesn't come out much. It's not that he's bedridden or anything. And besides, Chase and I started living with his family because we wanted to save money to build our own house. Chase was the one that suggested it, not his parents.
I think I told you this when you first mentioned that you were going to live with his family. But don't you think that that's a pretty big burden? I think they're asking too much of you. Chase doesn't have to worry about anything because it's his parents' house, and he grew up there as a child, but it must be a lot of stress for you. You've had to sacrifice a lot of freedom by moving in with his family. And you're both still newlyweds. You should be allowed to have a few years to yourselves and enjoy your honeymoon period.
Well, yeah, I get that, but we're gaining a lot from staying with them. I can't complain when we're saving money. I've just got to put up with it.
But why do you have to bear all of the trouble on your own? It sounds like Chase gains the most out of this current situation. You know that your dad and I would be happy to help you out financially if you need money for a new house. So why don't you tell Chase that it's too physically demanding to live with his parents and move back out? I get that you're saving money by not having to pay the rent, but you're paying for the bills and the groceries, aren't you? And that must cost a lot more now that it's not just the two of you.
Yeah, but it's still less than paying for the rent. And if I asked you to help us pay for our new house, then Chase and his parents would feel like they forced you into playing that hand. And Chase would feel like I didn't trust him to come up with the money. Chase is the one that said that he wanted to buy us a new home. I don't want to have to rely on you to fulfill that for him. So it's fine, really. You don't have to worry about me.
Okay, if you say so, Kara. But we've got plenty of money saved, and I can always give you a hand if you ever need anything. So make sure you talk to me if anything comes up, understood?
Yeah, thanks, Mom. Oh, I better go. I've got to go grocery shopping.
Are you buying tonight's dinner?
Yeah, there are more people to feed, so I've got to get started earlier or I won't make it in time. Shopping takes longer than it did when there was just the two of us, and it's unbelievable how quickly all the groceries disappear when there are 5 adults in the house.
It sounds like you're working really hard. Just promise me that you won't push yourself too hard, will you? It's a new town, And you're probably still getting used to Chase's family, so I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up with burnout if you don't rest up properly. Maybe you should spend a week with us to take a break when you come back from Macy's wedding in 2 months.
Yeah, that's true. I'll ask Chase if I can take a few days to stay with you and Dad while he's on his business trip. Anyway, I've really got to go. See you later, Mom.
Hello, Julie. It's been such a long time since we last spoke. This is Kara's mother, Alice. I hope you've been well.
Oh, Alice. I've been very well, thank you. How can I help you?
I was just wondering if Kara's there with you right now. I haven't been able to get in touch with her since the day before yesterday, and I was just a little worried. You probably know this, but it's her cousin's wedding next month, and there are some things I wanted to confirm with her.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Oh, you just missed her. She probably hasn't been able to let you know, but her phone broke the other day. She's just gone to the phone shop to get another one and told us that she won't be back until the evening.
Oh, so that's why she hasn't read any of my messages. That makes sense.
Yes, I'm sure she'll send you a reply once her new phone has been set up. It won't be long, so please don't worry. She's absolutely fine.
Then I guess I'll just have to wait. Thank you for letting me know. I was worried because it's taken her a lot longer to reply than it used to. Even if it takes her a while to reply, she usually reads my messages as soon as she gets them. I thought that it would be the same this time, but I noticed that she hadn't even seen what I had sent her. I'm sorry for bothering you with something so silly. I must look like such an overprotective mother.
No, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to worry. There's quite a distance between our two houses, and she's been living with us for the past couple of months. I can imagine why you'd be so worried. I'd be the same if Chase had gone to live somewhere out of my reach.
How has Kara been these past few months? I hope she's managed to fit in with your family. I heard that it was her and Chase's suggestion that they move in with you. I just wondered if it didn't cause you any trouble when they suddenly launched that on you.
No, of course not. It's no trouble at all. If anything, it's been much more cheerful ever since Kara came. It's been wonderful having her here. I've been so grateful to her. My husband has been enjoying all of the meals she's made for us, too. Oh, she's got a much larger repertoire than I do, and she's made us all these traditional dishes with arrangements and twists that I would have never thought to try.
I'm so glad to hear that. I hope that you and my daughter will get along from now on, too.
Yes, I do, too. I've got so much to learn from her. We're the ones that have been saved by her taking care of the housework and the cooking, so I hope that you won't feel that she's being a nuisance on us. Far from that, we've got to work hard to make sure she doesn't feel like we're the nuisance. Oh, and I've got to thank you for the cookies you sent us the other day. They were delicious. We haven't done anything to deserve such a gift, so I was waiting for a chance to tell you how happy I was that you thought to send us some. Oh, it's terrible of me for not sending you anything in return.
No, it's the least I could do for you. I'll send some more cookies when I bake the next batch, so please just enjoy them. Just think of it as a regular treat from the Cookie Fairy.
How kind of you. Oh, if that's what you insist, then I'd be happy to call you that. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got to go and hang the washing out to dry.
Oh, I'm so sorry for bothering you at such a busy time.
No, I'm not busy at all. Oh, you just messaged me when I was daydreaming while the laundry machine was still moving, but it looks like it's finally finished. Please don't hesitate to message me if there's anything else you need.
Yes, thank you so much. I'll do that. If you'll excuse me.
Mom, I'm really sorry for not answering your messages sooner. I promise that I'll be there at Maisie's wedding tomorrow, so you don't have to worry. I know that there's a lot you wanted to talk to me about before we attended the ceremony, but I had a lot going on. I'll be back home sometime today, I promise.
Kara, are you okay? Why are you up this early in the morning? You don't know just how worried I was about you. Will you make sure you respond to my messages a little sooner from next time? You haven't answered any of my calls, and you haven't even looked at my messages.
I'm sorry.
I even messaged Chase's mother, but she only said that you were fine and that I should get a reply soon. Did you get your new phone after that? You didn't respond to any of the messages I sent you after that, so I thought that you must have changed your number. But I didn't understand why you wouldn't let me know what it was. I was so worried that something might have happened to you. I was worried sick.
I'm sorry, Mom. I can't take it anymore. I don't have any time. I'm going to jump.
What? Wait, Kara? Wait a minute. What do you mean you're going to jump? What are you doing? Please, stop and think about what you're doing. There's still a lot to do before you do something, so... Just please talk to me before you do anything. Please, don't jump.
Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that I was going to jump from my window so that I can escape the room that I was locked into. You messaged me just when I got out on the ledge and I couldn't take my own weight anymore. Now's my only chance to get away when everyone is asleep and I don't want to get caught.
What? What are you talking about?
Okay, I've already jumped out.
Are you hurt? You didn't jump from very high, did you?
No, I'm good. I spent a long time in that room tying things together to make a rope, and it reached just above the living room window, but I landed on the grass, so I'm in one piece. Don't worry.
Thank goodness. You said that you were locked into a room. What did you mean by that? Was that at Chase's parents' house?
Yeah, he and his parents locked me in. Chase was after my money from the very beginning. That's why he proposed to me, to get my money.
What?
I was working as a specialist and I was getting paid a lot for my work, remember? I even managed to get a lot of money saved before I got married to Chase. He told me that I was a perfect catch because I was so quiet and obedient. He thought that it would be easy to make me give up my debit card and bank accounts to him. It looks like he and his parents planned to make me into their slave and forced me into doing all their housework for them, too.
You're kidding. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I would have gone and picked you up, and then taken you back home if you had just told me that that was how they were treating you.
It was already too late. I wanted to tell you everything, but they were watching my every move. I mean, they had me locked up in that room. They wouldn't have allowed me to get away that easily.
Well, I suppose that's true.
The last time we actually properly spoke was over 2 months ago.
When I asked you about whether you were coming to Macy's wedding? But we've sent messages a few times since then. Your replies were really short and late, but...
No, that was the last time. I couldn't use my phone when I wanted after that because they wouldn't let me. They confiscated my phone. They would let me reply when they noticed that I had gotten a message so that you wouldn't get suspicious, but they were watching over my shoulder. I couldn't type that I needed your help. That's why it took so long for me to respond to your messages. I tried running away with it once, but it was 3 versus 1. There was no way I could get away, and they beat me whenever I tried. At night, they would lock me in that room so I couldn't escape. It was like a living nightmare.
They beat you? You endured that for all these months? I'm so sorry, Kara. I'm sorry I didn't realize sooner. I should have done something.
It's not your fault, Mom. You couldn't have done anything if I was telling you that I was fine. But you really did save me from having a mental breakdown. You sent us some packages a few times, didn't you? You sent us the cookies that I really like and some of my other favorite foods. Those packages helped me realize that I had to make a move and escape before it was really too late. I couldn't have done it if I didn't believe that there was somewhere I could escape to. I did everything I could because I knew that you'd be waiting for me.
Oh, honey, you planned your escape all on your own. You must have been so scared. And you've made it out, haven't you?
Yeah, I managed to find out where they were hiding my phone a couple of days ago and sneaked it away last night before they locked me in. I prepared everything I needed to get away bit by bit during the day while I was doing the housework and hid it away in my room. I even got the courage to get my debit card back, too. I didn't want to let them have the last laugh.
I'm going to go and pick you up right now.
What? But it's still 4 a.m, and it's still so far.
Yes, but it'll take much longer for you to wait for the first train here. What are you going to do if they catch you before you get onto the train? You're not alone anymore, Kara, don't worry. You've got to rely on us. We'll save you now. You don't have to deal with them on your own ever again.
Mom, I'm so sorry.
What are you apologizing for? There's nothing to be sorry for.
But I should have listened to you. You were against me moving in with Chase's parents from the beginning, and I just told you that you were worrying too much. I didn't even stop to hear what you had to say.
No one could have anticipated that their husband's family would lock them up and treat them like a slave. I didn't even imagine anything like that. I was just worried that your mother-in-law might not be as welcoming as you hoped she would be, and might bully you for stealing her son from her. That typical sort of monster-in-law behavior. You finally gotten out of that house, so make sure you don't get caught. I want you to put plenty of distance between you and them, and hide away somewhere until we arrive.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Mom.
I'm not going to let them get away with this. Mark my words. They're going to suffer for what they did to you.
What?
It's only natural that they pay for hurting you the way they've done. They've got another thing coming if they think that they can use my precious daughter like a slave. I want you to tell me everything that happened while you were living with them in that house. They're going to regret ever laying their dirty hands on you.
Hello, Alice. So it's been a few days since Kara went to visit you all, but I was wondering will she'll be coming back home. She didn't mention that she would be gone this long, so I've been quite worried about her. I believe that the wedding she was talking about should be over by now, and Chase is already back from his business trip.
Julie, my daughter has been staying with you ever since she got married to Chase, and we haven't seen her in all that time. I think that she deserves some rest, and I think that we deserve to spend some time with her while we have the chance. We don't have any plans for another wedding anytime soon, so we don't know when we'll next see her.
Oh, but Chase misses her so much. He went off on his business trip a few days before she left, so he's been dying to see her. They're still newlyweds, after all. We should leave the lovebirds in peace. I'd be very grateful if you could let Kara know that he's waiting for her to come home.
Oh, I don't think so. He'll just have to deal with it, because she's already home, and she's never going back to live with you people.
What?
She's come back to live with us again. Did you really think that she wouldn't tell us what happened?
I'm sorry, Alice. I don't understand what you're talking about.
That's fine. You don't have to understand. You can keep on pretending that you don't know, and pretend that everything is fine. Reality will catch up to you sooner or later.
Kara sent me a message saying that she would be coming home after her cousin's wedding was over. Why aren't you letting her come back?
She just sent that to you to buy time. She was never planning on going back to your house in the first place, and we never planned on letting her. She's staying right here where it's safe. She told us how you treated her like a slave, that you beat her and locked her up at night. Did you really think that I would let her go back and stay with monsters like you?
Excuse me, we never did anything like that. Where did those accusations come from? If Kara says that's what happened, then she's lying to you.
She's lying. You think that the 20 pounds she lost while she was living with you is just a lie too? She looked like a completely different person when we went to pick her up. She was horrifically thin. She looked like she could break if we hugged her too hard. But we couldn't even do that because of the horrible bruises dotted all over her body. She was wincing in pain with every move she made. It's a miracle she had the will to run away from that room you locked her in.
Are you trying to say that we did that to her?
Then who did it? Are you going to say that she fell down some stairs? Or that she did that to herself?
I don't know. I never saw any bruises on her body. Do you really think that we're capable of doing something so vicious?
My daughter took pictures of the room you had been locking her up in. It was a storage room. There was no bed, no space to lie down in. It wasn't even clean when you put her in there. It was unbelievably unhygienic. And I've taken a look at my daughter's bank statements from the past couple of months. You've been withdrawing thousands of dollars every single month.
I don't know anything about that either. How should I know where your daughter's money went?
You're still going to play dumb?
Of course not, because I haven't done anything. You have no proof that we're responsible for what happened to your daughter. If anything, I'm shocked that you could make accusations of us being violent and accuse us of locking her away. You're even treating us like thieves by saying that we've withdrawn money using her debit card. Why should I admit to anything I haven't done? If anything, you should be worried about Kara's mental well-being if that's what she's been saying to you. Is she really okay?
You're really not going to own up to any of that? Fine. Then Chase and your husband are both fired.
What?
You can let them know that they won't have to come into the office from tomorrow onwards, and that they better start looking for jobs elsewhere, pronto.
What? What are you talking about? What does my husband and Chase's jobs have to do with Kara? Where did that come from?
Oh, didn't I tell you? The truth is, and I don't like to brag about this, hence why I didn't tell you, but I come from a rather well-off family.
What? But your husband is just a regular office worker. You wouldn't marry someone like him if you were really rich. You're just bluffing.
I'm not bluffing. He's just an office worker, but that doesn't make him any less as a person. I wouldn't marry for money, unlike some people. I married for love. I'll let you know that my father deals in property. I don't have any wealth or power of my own, so I've never spoken about what he does to other people, and I've never liked to use my connection to him, but if I'm going to be frank, he's a very powerful person. And this time, I decided to use my connection to him in order to get my revenge on you people. I didn't care what I had to do in order to ruin your lives. You deserve to suffer for what you did.
Wait, please. Oh, do you really mean that? Oh, that my husband and my son will lose their jobs?
Yes, that's right. It seems that the companies they were working for has no direct connection to my father, but he asked around and found an acquaintance who was willing to help us. My father spoke to the CEOs of both companies and had them removed from their respective positions.
Chase never told me that you were the daughter of a powerful property owner. How am I supposed to believe anything you're saying?
It's up to you to believe what you want. The only one that knows about my father's real career are my husband and my daughter. And of course my parents and my husband's parents.
But Kara told us that you and your husband don't have any money. That's why Chase asked if they could move in with us in order to save money for their own home.
That's just because Kara was doing as I told her to. Until I met my husband, there were a lot of people who tried to come close to me because they happened to find out who my father was, or tried to use me when they found out my father had a daughter. They were all just after my father's money. So I learned to not share that information to people I didn't know very well. When Kara started college, I taught her not to tell anyone who her grandpa was as well, to protect her from people like your son. Kara's a very independent girl, and she doesn't act like she's entitled to the family money just because her grandpa's rich. She decided all on her own to work for a specialist position by getting the qualifications she needed, and got a job at a company where she would never worry about money for the rest of her life. She saved away money with the intention of using it for her own future, for her own family. But we never imagined that it would be stolen away from her by the man she thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with.
That's impossible. You're lying. There's no way that's true.
I don't care whether you believe me or not. You'll see tomorrow if it's true, when your husband and your son try to enter their offices, only to be kicked out. And by the way, your house isn't private property, is it? I've already made it so that your rent will triple in 3 months' time. Good luck paying that all off.
What?
That shouldn't come as much of a surprise. I believe that you've already received a notice in the mail. Didn't you see it? Or did you refuse to believe that too?
Yes, we got something in the mail saying that just yesterday, but I just thought that it must be a mistake and didn't think much of it. Who could believe something as ridiculous as that? It said that our rent would go up by 300%. It's impossible.
But it's not a mistake. It's really going to happen. You'll all have to find jobs to pay it off before it's too late. And you get kicked out.
Do you really think that you can get away with something as tyrannical as that?
I'm afraid it seems I can. At least I can get away with it if I use that power on someone as tyrannical as you.
Wait a moment. Chase and my husband, they both got calls from their HR teams telling them that they've lost their jobs.
See, I wasn't lying to you, was I?
Alice, you've got to calm down. You should probably think about what you're doing. You don't have any proof that we did anything to your daughter. You can't do this to us.
That's true, I don't. But there's plenty of situational evidence. There's no reason for Kara to lie, and she couldn't have gotten those bruises all over her body from just falling down. You lied to me about our phone being broken, even though there was nothing wrong with it. There's plenty more where that came from.
You couldn't have done anything without your father's connections. Can you really be so proud of getting revenge like this? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Of course I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed that I couldn't do anything to protect my daughter. But I'll do anything to get revenge for her, especially after the way she's been treated. I don't care about shame or whatever you think about me if it means that I can get back at you for what you did. I'll use my father's connections and take advantage of his power, no matter what anyone says about me.
Please, can you rethink this? Can't you talk to your father and have him reinstate my husband and son?
Will you admit what you all did to my daughter? How you treated her? It depends on that.
I admit it. Is that good enough for you? I admitted to treating her the way you said we did.
All right. Thank you for admitting it. Now that you've confessed, I'll be reporting what happened to the police, and I'll be able to tell them that you admitted to what you did.
Why? Why would you do that? I told you the truth. I confessed. That's what you asked me to do in return for getting their jobs back.
When did I say that I would forgive you if you told me the truth? I only agreed to rethinking about it, and I thought about it, but decided that I would tell the police.
Alice, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt Cara. None of us did. We were just desperate, that's all. My husband's father is living with us and he needs full-time care, but we don't have the time or the money. We just wanted to borrow some money, I swear. That's why we took some money from Cara's account. We really had no choice. It's not like we used her money on buying ourselves clothes and designer bags. I don't think you can blame us. We were desperate.
You don't have any right to decide whether your reasons for stealing her money were righteous or not. And even if you were desperate, that doesn't give you the right to raise your hand against my daughter and lock her into that disgusting room.
Oh, we'll apologize to Cara properly, I promise. And I'll have my son divorce her too. She won't ever have to see him ever again. So would you please have mercy on us?
Of course they're getting divorced. She's divorcing him whether you say so or not. No parent could forgive someone who hurt their own daughter, let alone have them come anywhere near her ever again. Marriage is one of the biggest steps a child takes in their life. And of course, Cara was looking forward to it just as much as we were looking forward to sending her down the aisle. And that money you stole was money my daughter worked so hard to earn and save, and planned to spend on her future. I won't ever forgive you for taking that happiness and that hope away from her. She was supposed to enjoy her married life to Chase, and they should have created a happy family together, but you took that all away from her. I will hunt you down to the ends of the earth until you all suffer the same fate as my daughter did, and feel exactly what she felt while she was locked away in that house. You better prepare yourself, Julie, because you and your family are going to regret ever hurting Cara. After that, my daughter and her husband got divorced, and I reported everything that had happened to the police. At first, they wouldn't admit to what they had done, but thanks to the statements given by their neighbors and the note we got from my daughter's doctor after we took her to the hospital, the police made their move and took Chase and his family in for questioning. It didn't take long before they were arrested, and they were ordered to pay a penalty. Not only that, during their questioning, the police found out that the three of them had been neglecting Chase's grandfather, and were criticized for their treatment of him too. In the end, Chase's grandfather ended up being placed into a care home with the support of government aid. After losing their jobs, Chase and his father got into a lot of financial trouble, and just a few months after the incident, they could no longer pay the rent and had no choice but to run away to avoid the people they owed money to. Apparently, they've moved far, far away to a place in the middle of nowhere. It seems that they had been relying on money they had borrowed from loan sharks after my daughter had escaped from their clutches. So I decided to do the loan sharks a favor and update them when I found out where Chase and his family had moved to. It probably won't be long before the loan sharks catch them and force them into paying back their debts. I'm still not satisfied, and there's still a lot I want to make them suffer. But my daughter told me that she didn't want me to waste any more money or time on them. I want to respect her wishes and focus on cherishing the time I have with my family. So, I've decided to put my revenge to an end and leave everything else up to karma. After her divorce, Cara had resigned and taken some time to rest up and recover. But now she's managed to get back on her feet and has found another job. She lost a lot of weight while she was with Chase, but now she's regained some of it and looks much healthier and stronger than before. Now that some time has passed, it seems that the pain and trauma has begun to fade too. But even if the pain had started to fade, it doesn't mean that she's completely recovered. My husband and I plan on supporting her as much as possible as she faces the future once more.